Everyone, in this video I am going to be making a junk journal with the new V&A collection from Trimcraft. Now do not worry, do not check your calendar, it is not Tuesday, it is not Trimcraft Tuesday, but I've just got so many projects going on this month that I just wanted to be able to share all of them and not just do it on a Tuesday kind of thing. So yes, that's what's going on. So there'll be, hopefully, not saying definitely, but hopefully some more Trimcraft videos this month for you. So yes, I'm taking one of my favourite papers from this collection, one of the canvas effect ones. I've cut it to 7 by 10 to make a sort of B6-ish size journal, and I've scored it at 1 inch on every single side. And then I am taking this sort of adhesive backed material, sticky back material, I don't know, it's been in my stash for forever, and I've cut that to, hang on, if it was 7 by 10 then I've cut it to 6 by 9, there you go, good maths Grace, to have that on the inside as like the inside cover. And then I have cut off those little squares at every corner, but done them at an angle, so you know, you kind of get that angle on each little flappy bit. I don't know the technical terms for these things, guys, but yes, scoring those, folding them over, and then using some slow drying tacky glue. I'll try and link the brand if I remember. It's really, really good stuff. It takes an age to dry, but once it's dry, it's really, really good. So I'm using that to put all my flaps down, and then I'm going to put that under something heavy for a while because obviously, as I was saying, it takes a long time to dry. So now I'm getting all my pages ready for the journal, and I've got a mix of sort of just plain good quality printer paper, and I've got vellum, and I've got old book pages and old poetry pages and I said that weird, music pages, and obviously some papers from the V&A collection. And the biggest I'm going to cut those is, well, if I'm doing the cover at 5 by 7, then I'm going to cut those about 1/4 to 1/2 inch smaller than that on both sides, so you don't get it poking out of the cover, so to speak. With some of the papers, I'm taking Distress Oxide in Vintage Photo and in Tea Stain. I'm just adding that around the edges of some of them, not all of them, just like the more modern ones or ones that just kind of, you know, I thought it would look nice on kind of thing, just to give it that old vintagey effect kind of thing. And then I kind of thought I would have a cover within the cover, so to speak. So I've cut this paper here, which is again from V&A, slightly bigger than I've cut the biggest of the papers, and I've just, as I said, it's kind of like a cover within a cover kind of thing. So I am just sort of arranging those in the order that I want them. I cut a little too many, I think. The size of this journal is kind of like a traveler's notebook insert style, or like a slim notebook. I'm not making like a big thick one with a hardbound book cover or anything like that. I really like making them when they're kind of small like this, or slim like this, because I feel like, for me personally, even though I did actually make this for myself, I made it as a gift, but for me, I kind of like it when I'm not in the same journal for ages and ages. Like I have a short attention span. I get bored quickly, so I like to chop and change between journals. So if they're not very thick, then that means I'm not going to get bored of it. That was way off topic, but anyways, I have scored all of those papers in the center of them. As I said, they're all different sizes, but the ones that are genuine vintage papers, I've scored them very carefully, and then I'm also going over those score lines with a bit of masking tape just to reinforce them, because once I start doing the signature stitching, then those vintage papers, they are at risk of just completely breaking and tearing. So yeah, over those score lines that, as I said, I did very carefully, I've also put some masking tape just to reinforce them. And here I'm just lining everything up, lining up the folds of the cover and the pages and everything, clipped everything together with some large bulldog clips, and then I'm using my Tim Holtz pokey tool to poke 5 holes in the center fold there, and then I'm going to use those holes obviously to do my stitching. Now I'm sure many of you know exactly how to do this, but it's one of those things, if I don't include it then someone's going to moan at me. So I've got waxed twine, I think it's 1 millimeter waxed twine, and yes, I am just doing the signature sewing with that. So I basically go from the inside out through the middle and then up to the next hole, and you just sort of do in out, and then reverse yourself on the way back down. I'm not very good at explaining this, am I? Hopefully you all know what I mean anyway when it comes to doing a signature. It's very, very easy. It's not complicated like doing a Coptic bound stitch or something like that, which I really, really, really must try one of these days. I've watched a billion tutorials and I just haven't got around to actually giving it a go. But yes, so going in and out, in and out. There's quite a lot of pages in this for a slim insert kind of thing, so I did struggle getting the needle through in some places. But yes, once I've completely gone in and out all the holes, I've come back up to the middle and I'm going to tie my knot nice and tightly in the middle, but not pulling it too tight that it bends any of the pages, if you get me. So here, this isn't necessarily something you have to do, this is just something I like to do personally, but I bend the cover back on itself, and then where you've folded your pages, you often get the middle ones sticking out slightly more. It's just, you know, that's how maths works or something like that. And I just like to take a metal ruler and a very sharp craft knife and just trim off those bits so everything is level in the book. Again, with the junk journal it doesn't really matter, but that's just personal preference for me. So I'm going through all the pages on the inside, and occasionally where I see like a slightly smaller page, I'm just going to put washi on the bottom and up one side just to create little pockets within the journal. It's just such a simple way of creating your own little pockets, but not having to bother thinking about that when you're actually doing like the stitching and the binding kind of thing. Like, you don't have to pre-make them, you can just make them there and then. And also in the front covers of the inside cover, that's a bit complicated, I'm just adding like little scraps and stuff to make little sort of secretarial pockets and stuff. After I did that though, I wasn't 100% keen on the material on the inside. Like, it was too bright for the whole vintage theme, so I'm just going over it with Distress Oxide in tea dye, and it just brings the whole thing together to look, you know, like it all matches kind of thing. Now I'm going to decorate the front cover. So I've taken a scrap of vintage paper, and I've just got other scraps as well from the collection. That paper at the front with the roses, that's another one of the canvas effect ones, and I love it so much. It's got to be my absolute favourite. It's beautiful. But I've backed that with a red paper and just have this nice little sort of clustery backing thing for the front cover like that. I'm also going to take a frame from the collection and back that with one of the pearlescent papers. Again, I'm going to use my slow drying tacky glue for this because I like to use that on things that aren't paper, basically. So I use my normal tacky glue for all paper and gem related things, and then if it's wood or material or something, I use that stuff in the brown bottle, which I can't think of the name of. While I was waiting for that to dry, I'm using this stamp and die set just to stamp out some little sort of tag shapes, and then I went off and die cut those, and you can just see them on the left in a little pile there. I'm going to use those in a bit. And then I've also, these were made for another project. This is the other stamp and die set in the collection, the sort of roses and leaves kind of thing, and I had stamped those and gone over them with pearlescent watercolours and then die cut them. And as I said, it was for another project, but I had those left over, so I've used those to decorate the frame on the front cover. Adding a little bit of this adhesive lace there, again that is from my stash and has been in it for some considerable time. And then that little flower I was adding there, that is, in this collection you get this washi set thing. It's one of those, it's like washi stickers, so there's a roll of little petals and a roll of little leaves, and you can create these really beautiful flowers with them. And I'd pre-made that I'd done it for the gram, I'll be honest, I did it for the gram, so I had it left over and I thought it would look really nice there. I have created a little envelope here with my 123 punch board to put all those little tags I made in, just so, you know, the person I'm making this for can like use them if they want to in their journal. And I stuck a little satin bow on that as well because I thought it'd look cute. And then I thought I needed something else on that little inside cover kind of thing. I didn't want to go overboard on decorating this because the person I have given this to, they've received it now, they are a creative person, so they can do a lot of decorating themselves kind of thing. So I didn't want to do too much, but I wanted to do a little bit, as it were. So I've just added some twine there, going across that front cover, and I kind of pulled it around the back and tied a knot so it would stay in place, and just added some of the really pretty little bunting pieces, again from this collection. I wanted to make another little pocket inside using the vellum, so I have just again added tape sort of on the bottom, one of the outside edges, and I die cut some tags and labels and banners and stuff with scraps from the paper pad, and I've put all of those in that little pocket there, and I'm just adding other little things to pockets. I made a little tag with one of my scraps from this paper pad, and I added some little sort of like ephemera pieces and stuff and stuck those down, like, well, held them down, I suppose you could say, with that little pink peg. And now I'm going to add some brads, again from this collection, these fabric brads. They are so, so lovely. I love them so much. And I'm adding those to the front and back covers to use as like a little closure system for the book. And just decoratively adding some ribbon across the front there. I decided the front cover really needed something else going on, so I am adding that with some red line tape just around the front, like so. And then I'm just using some sort of natural Hessian twine, something or other, to wrap around those brads at the front and the back. And please excuse my helper, he comes to help often, and I don't know, make a joke about cat and twine or something, but I don't think he was actually interested in that. He was just interested in getting in my way, which is his favourite thing to do. Anyway, sometime later, after I dealt with Conan and probably fed him and fed myself or something, I made a little bow, just sewed a little bow with another one of the ribbons from the collection. You can just see that in the centre there. I'm also adding some of the pearls. I'm adding those with glossy accents as well, because obviously this is something to be used as a journal. It might get knocked about a bit. I want to make sure those stay in place, kind of thing. So I've also added another scrap of lace and finished with that bow and a pearl in the centre. And here we go. So I've just got this little thing at the end here just to show you what the whole thing looks like. So you unwrap the twine like that. You've got your little envelope with little bits in. And yes, lots of lovely pages to do journaling in. And then, as I said, I've added tags and little papers and stuff that that the person can use in their journal. And obviously there's vellum, and the music pages. Oh, I love music paper so much. I don't know what it is, I love it. So all sorts of bits to use in there for journaling. And yeah, and doing it with this collection just felt right, you know. I mean, obviously it's a vintage effect and V&A is antique if we're going to get technical on the matter, but they do match quite well. The whole aesthetic, I think, really works quite nicely. Made a little pocket at the back there, and there we go, it is finished. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry if you heard that weird noise. My computer keeps having little blips recently. I'm getting quite worried, but anyway, thank you so much again. I've completely lost my train of thought. Links in the description box below. Please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Chat to me in the comments. All of that wonderful stuff. Thank you so much again. Bye bye.